playing Dredge on Ormond. Dredge is one of those characters that it's a little underrated by the community, but very, very RNG dependent is kind of why people say that, is because, you know, depending on the RNG of the map and the locker spawns and that sort of stuff, you have very, very vastly varying experiences, which is what some people are like, wow, he's turbo good. And some people are like, wow, he's really bad, because your experience on Rotten Fields is very different to your experience on Midwich, for example. You are on Ormond, though, which I was talking about earlier, is I feel like a very fairly Survivor side map, a very, very strong Survivor side map. I've also noticed another thing that airs to my opinion that Ormond is probably actually like a top 5 Survivor map is, like, in terms of match reviews, there's a lot of repaint maps that I see. Garner Joy, obviously. But a map I get a lot for the match reviews when somebody's, you know, obviously the match reviews, you either barely clutch it or you lose. I almost, like, most of them are on Ormond, I've noticed. Like, there's tons and tons of Ormond submissions, which I think lends itself to the strength of the map. Let's take a look. Yeah, on Z-Poix. We're using the cool skin too. Huh. Oh, you got the offering. They got offering there too. Mouthinker skull on the calendar. Yep, that's what you should be using. Those are like the 2 main Dredge perks, or Dredge add-ons that people use. So good job there. Very, very excellent build. A little too strong, I would argue. I mean, if there is a such thing. Usually I advise that people like kind of like err on the side of 2 slowdown perks. That way you're not like overlapping your mistakes with like covering for your mistakes too much, because we kind of want our mistakes to be felt in terms of improving. That way we can, you know, overcome them. But if you're just kind of like covering for your mistakes with like a too much slowdown, like, you know, that is you know, a problem you want to avoid. But in terms of generally in terms of strength in the game, perfect build. One good info perk, especially with the expose aspect of friends till the end, you will be able to take advantage of that more often, probably as Dredge. Pain Res Surge, both make sense. Sloppy, really perfect build, can't say anything about it. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started the match itself. Very cool to see this from the first person. Nobody I watch currently has this skin, so this is the first time I've seen it from the first person perspective. Yeah, because they're changing Mangled for no reason, which I still don't agree with that change. Ooh, wow, she loops that very strangely. Oh, you could have got that hit. You just kind of like pathed kind of like awkwardly towards her. A watcher usually shoot at the same time. Not a problem. Somebody did start that gen to your right. So just keep that in mind. If you can make this chase short, this is the right play. But if it ends up being a long chase, that is probably should have stayed on the other person. Knock them off the gen. There you go. So that ended up being fine. There's a lot of decisions in Dead by Daylight that like are inefficient but become efficient as long as your chase can be quick. Yeah, I would stick to that one. Yeah, I agree with you, Chloe. I'm not particularly a Dredge enjoyer. I think the problem with me when it comes to a lot of characters like Dredge is like the way you play them is like fairly boring. Like, a lot of Dredge is just like, I set up my remnant at one end and me at the other, and I force the survivor into a lose-lose situation and I get the M1. It's just like Knight with extra steps, which I just don't find very entertaining. If I'm pulling off a victory, I want it to be because I'm like actually, I have a lot of skill expression. I'm actually inputting something into the game. I don't feel like Dredge is a very skill expressive character. I feel like it's just like, you lose because I put my remnant at one end and me at the other. It forces people into lose-lose situations. Exactly, yeah. Like, you can do exactly what he does minus the teleport on Artis. You can put people into the same 50-50 situations that you do with the remnant on Artis with the birds. Except now you can, God, that was so loud compared to everything. Is he bugged? Is he bugged right now? Why was that so tremendously loud compared to everything? Holy moly. Anyways, yeah, you can do the same 50-50 bird, like, you know, lose thing with the birds. Except now you can hit people through walls. Yeah. He's always that loud? He wasn't loud the last time I played him. Well, the last time I had like a killer request, it was not that loud. Yeah, it definitely starts to go against Claw. And I would argue it's very, very boring for me. It's not very fulfilling for me to play that way. Yo, Jump, thank you for the follow. I very much appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, that was the right play. You had the right idea. You should have swung off of that. That would have caught you up way quicker. That was the right idea. You're kind of committing to this chase for a really long time. I want to see how long this chase ended up being. You're also not putting your remnant down. You've been really good with your remnant so far, and you haven't really used it this chase at all. These are pretty informative. We have a whole playlist of them on the YouTube. Like, we have a lot. Hopefully you can find whatever character you like playing in there. And if not, you can submit a match review yourself. Just upload it to YouTube and submit it for a Monday, and I'll review it. My only prerequisites is I don't review like dominant wins. If you like 4K at like 1 gen left, yeah, it was close. Don't send me dominant wins. Also, if you have any like audio problems, don't submit it. Just common sense stuff. Let's see, your chase with her. Okay, this is already, I'm not even to the part where you found her and it was already over a minute, so. Yeah, you committed to a really, really long chase with this person for essentially what amounts to like the full length of a gen. You've committed to a chase for essentially the full length of a gen. And if multiple survivors were split up on gens, from start to finish, you could have had 2 gens, or they could have had 2 gens put out by now. So if you suddenly have a lot of gens pop here soon, like, that is why, because you committed to a chase for the length of like a full gen. Keep in mind, generators are generators. Match time is gen time in DBD. Chases should be around 30 to 40 seconds. If it starts getting 50 seconds plus, it's probably looking to leave. Take a pallet, injure him, then go find somebody else that's easier to chase. But you chased her for far too long. The bright side's at least she'll be death hook after this. Which means you can kind of like go tunnel her if need be, if you want to turn the match around. The way he turned around, he's like, oh god. Nice try. Yeah, you were using your remnant a lot early in the match for chases, and now you're just kind of like not out of nowhere. I don't know if you noticed that. There you go. There you go. Yeah, for the middle part of this match, you kind of stopped using your remnant. That's weird. Assuming that is your prime anti-loop part of your kit. I still need to make a part of the Xeno guide for that tile, the maze tile, because those only spawn on certain maps like Orman, but they also spawn on like Yamoka and stuff. So they're kind of a general tile because they spawn them a few maps. I can't wait till like they update the game and Macmillan has like loops like that. Okay, so if you have the awareness to know that like you were in a very, very long chase there, you should be thinking that like, okay, I should be playing like I'm at 2 gens. Ooh, you were greeting this. I don't think you'll make this. I don't think you make this. Oh, it's gonna be close. Oh, barely. Gosh, that scared me. Don't do that. You gave me anxiety. Don't do that. Do not do that. You made it. You got lucky. That was scary. Okay, you need to, yeah, this is the right play. You gotta get her out of the game. You have multiple gens that are like 50% plus. So ideally, pretty soon you're gonna be at 1 gen. There's kind of no reason to mind game that way, because even if she fast vaults there, like she's still in a fairly good spot. So like you do this mind game, but even if she fast vaults here, she still makes it inside the shack and can take the vault again. So it's kind of like this mind game is not like this will work on like a bad survivor that just kind of mindlessly only passed to the pallet. But in terms of like consistency and consistently having good habits, any survivor that's even moderately good will just only loop back into the shack vault again from the inside, which doing this mind game will not do that. It will not scare them into not vaulting that again. Like the idea of a mind game at its core is to pretend that you are going one way, and the threat of you going that way is so substantial that the survivor will change their mind about where they're going because they want to avoid where you're going. So let's play out this fake scenario in our head where like you mean it, right? Like you're actually going to start pathing this way, right? If she vaults and you start pathing this way, he, like I said, is just going to be able to continue to W back into shack and vault. She's going to be able to vault again. So she's safe on that front. But what if it's a fake, like you ended up doing? Oh, it doesn't matter because she just vaults and makes the vault again. It's a win-win for her. Do you see what I'm saying? Either way, she's in no danger of being hit by you, no matter if you go forward or to the left. So doing a mind game here is pointless because she is safe no matter what happens. So I would not do that mind game. She's on death, so she's probably going to play a little safer. The bright side is there's Jen close to where she's at. Yeah, this Jen's close to where she's running, so you're probably going to get some surge value here, which is nice. That one doesn't have progress, though. Unfortunate. That is aggressively loud. That is not normal. I have not played the character in a long time, so maybe it happened in like a patch a while back, but that is news to me. Good job. I'm waiting that out. Dude, look at all that jolt value. Oh, how do you mess up a flashlight save in 2024? You literally have a full extra second of buffer of timing. How do you mess up a flashlight save in 2024? Shame on that survivor. How do you get blinded and not the save on a flashlight save in 2024? Actually a skill issue. Actually a skill issue. Okay, so now you have somebody dead. The person you have the most pressure on other than her is Michaela, though. You don't know where she is, unfortunately. Yeah, and a lot of that is like until you just like watch the way people play, there's like the game doesn't really prepare you for those things, Sydney, so it's not even necessarily your fault. It's kind of just an experience thing. Yeah, now that you know where Michaela is, down him and go after her. The only reason I'm saying down him here is because, you know, Surge. So the Surge help. Alright, so now all your painters out. Chase Michaela. Because Jake, you have no hook pressure on whatsoever. Well, you have one. You have one, but like... Yeah, you should ideally chase Michaela. Because she wasn't even like a long chase either. Michaela's definitely like the weaker link out of the two of them. Or you just applied pressure to her better than him. I don't know. A lot of things that could boil into that. You're doubling back way too much. once again, yeah, you're doubling. What was that? What was that? What was that? What is this mind game that you attempt doing at this locker pile or locker tile? Okay. So you go this way. He's running towards the pallet. You follow him around. And then you double back here. So, like, once again, let's digest what a mind game is and what a mind game is for, right? It's the threat of where you're going is so substantial that the survivor wants to get out of the way. Like, the way that you're pretending to go is really, really bad for them. What does doubling back and pretending to go this way do for him? He can still make this pallet if he chooses to. He's in no danger of not making this pallet. If you go this way, he still makes the pallet. And you're not on the same side of the window as him, so he can still play the window. Yeah, this would make sense for like a huntress, like throwing a hatchet down the way, or like a Wesker dashing up to him. But like, you're Dredge. So, yeah. So he just doubles back, he just responds, he's like, okay, I'll go the other way then. And then you double back again, and I'll ask you this, what is the point of this then? So right now, he's on the other side of this wall. He has the option of the window vault and not the pallet. You have pallet control right now. Well, you doubling back here? Like, he just can keep going. Right? He can just keep going. He does not have to play to the pallet right now because he still has the window. So the threat of you following him there doesn't really matter. Because either he follows you, or you follow him, he makes the window vault, or you don't follow him, and then he can just come all the way around and just go back to the pallet. I think we need to analyze a little bit what we use mind games for. It's not just like, I'm gonna switch sides and now I'm gonna get the hit. It's a little bit more complicated than that. They call it a mind game for the reason. You're trying to trick the human player into making a mistake. But there doesn't seem to be like, what the heck was that? What? Jacob Park, what was that? What was that dead hard? Use my games to look cool. Oh yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. Hey Batsy, how's it going? How are you, friend? How's your Monday? I feel like you should have hit him there. The victory tab. Terrible one? Sorry, man. Look at his bottom, he pulls up. That will never not be extremely distracting. Yeah, this point I'll just take the hook because they have to meet up and heal. You're afraid of the flashlight, but unless they have background player, which I have not seen so far, they're not going to make that. That's a good idea. If that was not locked, you could have actually just downed her there. That was a smart play. Oh, I'm sorry, Batsy. That sucks. Life's been also being like, it's very externally stressful for no reason lately for me as well, and I don't know why. Yeah, she's full health, so like, yeah, you just let them get him up for no reason. You should have just like baited the pickup and then like picked up Jacob like a weird angle. But they don't have background players, so they're not going to be able to like reposition. Stressful? I don't know. Yeah, heck 2024. Already not my year. We'll try and get in 2025. But 2022 was not my year, and neither was 2023, so. Oh no. We'll see. We're shaping up for a Nick decade, but. Yeah, just pick. Just pick. The longer, like, it's good to kind of bait out a save every once in a while, but at a certain point, you're actually giving the survivors more time to actually position a save the longer you wait. Sometimes it's just gonna be snappy and random with your pickups. one of the simplest and easiest things you can do to throw out a flashlight save. Like, for example, I have my character movement, my camera movement set to Q and E, which means I can hit Q and E and just like spin, which is helpful for characters like Oni, Billy, and stuff like that. That can be really helpful in like picking up a survivor. Obviously you can't do that because you're on controller, but like what I'm saying is like very quickly move your camera, suddenly just like go to face one way and then just jolt your camera the other way and then pick up. Because they're expecting you to pick up the same way you're facing. That's obviously not what you're gonna do. Yeah, the fact that it's already gonna be March by the end of this week is crazy. Yeah, just camp your kill at this point. He's Jake's injured, so yeah, he has to either do something very risky and give you a 3K or just leave. Passing one, I forgot. Over Grim Embrace. Grim Embrace is good. Honestly, like Painters is a passive perk, but like you just like you worry too much about getting value out of it that like it is a problem. Deadman's is also a passive perk that's fine. So you can do Grim Embrace Deadman's. Honestly, yeah, if you want to run 3 slowdown, like you can do that. You can do Corrupt. Do Corrupt, Deadman's, and then Grim Embrace. And then your Gearhead. And then you're good. Right? That is a full-on autopilot build. Deadlock, another good example. You can throw Deadlock somewhere in there. These are all like play the game, but like don't focus on perk value perks. Alright, Newell, our homie that has been here submitting weekly match reviews that we appreciate so much, usually maining Chucky. In terms of this game, in terms of your main takeaways, your first one that I will cover is the fact that while you had a lot of great early pressure, you decided while chasing Zarina to commit to an extremely long chase with her. You literally committed to a chase with Zarina for the full duration of a gen being completed, which means what I mean by that is if 2 survivors had hopped on 2 separate gens by the time that your chase ended, they would have gotten those 2 gens from completely 0 progress to full completion by the time you were done. Just not good. Not good. Chases in Dead by Daylight need to be 30 to 40 seconds. If they start getting over 50 seconds, you should probably be thinking about leaving. And for your second takeaway, because this ties together, a lot of the reason that middle chase was so long with Zarina is that your chases in this game were very efficient when you were using your remnant to mind game and get the hit very quickly. But for some reason, in that middle chase with Zarina, you kind of opted to not do that as much. And I think that played a big part into why that chase lasted so long and why a lot of your chases in the mid game were longer. It's because you kind of, for some reason, kind of like stopped using your remnant to mind game as much. It was not that great. You were doing well. You're doing well initially, and you did well at the end. But in the middle of the match, you really weren't using your remnant as much in chase, and it definitely showed. It definitely showed. Let me just check in. Yeah, yeah, it's like with the yeah, with the mind games, like Jockey could probably hit a lot of those. That is a good point. Your third and final takeaway, that's the one that we're kind of, I feel like this is the most important takeaway from this, is that we need to remember what mind games are for. If you're faking one way and going the other, the idea is that the survivor is going to be so afraid of you possibly going the way you're faking that they're going to double back to avoid it and double back into your character or give you significant distance to hit them. A lot of times when you mind game, the survivors are safe on the direction that you're faking. So the survivor is under no pressure to make a risky decision or potentially run back into you because the way that you're pretending to go doesn't really affect them that much. It doesn't really put them in a dangerous situation. So I would recontextualize what the mind game means to you, because the mind game should be, if I pretend to go this way, they're host. So they have to run back into me. Yo, Turtle, thank you so much for the Prime. I really appreciate that, friend. Thank you. That's very, very kind. Hopefully your Monday's treating you well, bud. I almost said Friday. My brain's kind of scrambled. You can tell. You can tell. You can tell. My brain is all scrambled. Yeah, I appreciate it. Anyways, in terms of the match review, yeah, try to use mind games in terms of doing the whole fake one way, go the other. Only fake if faking that direction will put the survivor in a bad situation, because that's what's gonna force them to panic and make a risky decision. But if it's not gonna do that, I would not opt for that mind game.